Hi, I'm Ash, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use Blender's built-in WallFactory add-on to make some tabletop terrain. It's completely customizable and really easy to use and get started. It's probably going to be a two-part video. In this first one I'm just going to show you the basics, and then in the next one I'm going to show you a bunch of things to sort of step it up a bit. So let's get started. First thing to do is to enable the add-on. So edit, preferences, select add-ons, type in extra, and I'm going to turn both of these on. The curves are will be useful in the next video. So, here we go. Let's get started. Shift and A to add a new mesh, and we go all the way down to extras and WallFactory. We see it's a bit small. So turn this up here, and we will make the top. Let's go for 60. That makes it 60 millimeters tall, or 6 centimeters if you like. And I will also make it much wider, almost as wide as I can go. I'll go for minus 40 on the start side and 40 on the other side. And then we've got a rough starting wall size. Next up is to change the size of the blocks, unless you like lots of tiny things like that. I'm going to go 6 for the width and change the minimum to 3 and increase the variance somewhat. I'll go for 1.5. Height be the same, but we'll have a much smaller minimum. We'll go for 1, and then increase the variance again until you see the pattern you kind of like the look of. Like these sort of rows of little blocks, like that. So some varying sizes, and then the depth will increase to 6 again. Gives it a nice bit of depth, and a minimum much closer to the original. We don't want too much variance in it, but a little bit's good. It just gives it a bit of texture when you print it. Now we've got the rough starting point. You will notice there is little gaps, but we will be getting rid of those later on. We'll fix this little window next, so scroll down to openings. We will increase the width so we get something we like the look of. I'm going to go for 20. And a height of 20 as well, and then raise the bottom right up. We've got a good size window there. Can bevel it in a bit, it's up to you. I'm just going to leave that as 0. And I'm going to repeat it. So when you repeat it, you use the indent. Just keep scrolling it up, and that will increase the gap between them. Next thing to do is fix the curve on the top. I like a nice big curve, it makes it print easier. Go for something like that, and then with the thickness gives some nice arch stones. Good castle wall. I'll increase there we go. I think that looks good for now. Actually want a bit more in the way of height variance. Let's bring it, let's change it slightly so we get something I like the look of. And I'm also going to increase the edging. There we go. I think that looks reasonable for now. And that's purely the basics to get started. What I will do next is I'm just going to add a cylinder and make this a reference, just a rough miniature scale. Go for 7 for the top view, grab it out behind one of the windows, and then I'm going to make the size what I want, so about 40mm high, 28mm. It's just to use as a reference point for checking the size of the walls. Grab it, Z, and hold down Control and just drag it up to this roughly level at the base. Something like that. You see, that looks good. Little person, imagine the head about here, it'd be able to peer through that quite nicely. Next up, select the wall again, zoom back in. We will tab into edit mode. At the top here, we'll change the pivot point to individual origins, and then scale all the bricks ever so slightly, just so they overlap a little bit. This means that they will print as a solid and manifold mesh. We're going to tab out and we're going to use some modifiers to make it all look much better. First of all, a bevel, quite a thick bevel. See some nice edging, especially here. I'm just going to pause here for a second, just to suggest this is a good point to save. The remesh modifier we will be using in a second can be a little temperamental, and also be careful when adding values. The smaller the number, the higher the resolution and the more intense it will be on your system. And after that, I use a remesh. Makes it a solid single mesh with no internal geometry. You can increase the resolution if you like, but be careful with this. If you go too low, it will add an incredible amount of geometry and probably crash. And that's the basics. To make it more ruined, I'm going to tab in again, double tap A, deselect everything, want to go into front view and press C for the circular selection method. Just select some of the bricks. Once I've got a few verts like that, press Control and numpad plus. You've selected the whole brick, X, and delete the faces. You can also grab any others that look a bit weird, like you can just press L on them to select them. Get the ones you think you want to get rid of, again X, and delete the faces. So you've got something you think looks decent. I think that will do for me for now. I'm going to tab out. And that's it. And I will send that to print. And we will have a look at how it comes out. And here we are, the final bit. And just show you how it looks. And I think it comes out quite nicely. Some good detail in the brickwork. Get the edging, That's where it's broken off as per our design. The bricks all stand out really nicely. So yeah, there you go. And a couple of tips. When I'm printing, I tend to drop the bottom slightly below the print bed, and then it just gives it a nice flat edge, where if there's any detail on the bottom it just wipes it off. If you print with a raft, keep the raft. I've got a tip for that in the next video. And as per the next video, I'm going to show you how to add a bunch of extra detail, other things you can do, and here is a little sneak peek of one of the things that's going to be featured. Here we go. Nice curved wall. I've done smaller bricks on this one, so it's a lot more detailed. And yes, so that's something for the next video. And to close, I've got some pictures showing the scale of the walls next to some popular miniatures. 28mm scale. Hope everything was good, I hope it was useful, and I hope you'll come back for the next bit. Thank you.